call to determine court. Now we're left. Okay. Now we'll call. Hey, Beth.
Hi, Allison. Hi, Roger.
Allison, we're going to call you Beth all the time here now.
There we go.
There we go.
All right.
All right.
Now
Ready
I'd
to
like to
roll.
call the February planning meeting to order. First is a roll call to determine quorum. Pamela Landy,
Here?
Deb Donahue,
Here.
Allison Gaddy.
Here.
That's it, right, Roger, and myself?
Yeah, actually Pamela's not even officially a
okay.
member. She's staff like me. So it's just Deb,
Allison and Deb.
Allison and you. That's
All
it.
right. Excellent. We have a quorum. Starting with the projects. Let's go right ahead.
All right. So we have 5 today, and we'll dive right into the site plan review for project under the Greenwich Board of Consideration for updates to the Village of Greenwich zoning code. This is related to the Greenwich pedestrian study and is tied in or touches the BOA that we looked at last time we were together. And so hopefully you had a chance to read the zoning code update document. But I'll just read off this little summary. The Village of Greenwich is proposing a series of amendments to the village zoning code to update outdated parking regulations and ensure that a new development along Main Street is pedestrian friendly and in line with the vision of 2019 Main Street Streetscape Plan. The zoning regulation updates are proposed for medium density residential and commercial 1 zones. And the primary components of the proposed zoning code amendments are establishing a Main Street overlay district along Village Main Street corridor between Church, Academy Street, and Mill Hollow, establishing a site plan review process that would apply within the overlay district, providing supplemental design guidelines for the overlay district that would be considered as part of site plan review, updating parking requirements to reflect current Institute of Transportation Engineers parking requirements and to allow for flexibility, incorporating definitions and guidelines for food trucks and electric vehicle charging stations, and additional updates to address ambiguity and consistency. That's good enough. I mean, essentially, this is a matter of local concern at this point, like the plan that we reviewed prior, because there's no like immediate impacts, intermunicipal impacts. But so I would say that, but maybe there's a little comment discussion about it.
Emma, I just had a question. So it's a zoning code update. Why is it coming in under site plan review?
Oh, under consider updates, village board. Oh, no, that's just my way of language of saying that's what we're doing. So it's a site plan review for project under village board consideration for adopting update. I should say adopting updates.
Yeah, that's just confusing because site plan review is something completely different.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. Yeah, I think it's great. They're updating their zoning code to comply with the previously adopted community plan. So yeah, matter of local. I would make the motion that it's essentially a matter of local concern.
Motion for Allison, second by Deb. All in favor, signal saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, on to the next one.
All right, the second one is site plan review for project under Town of Kingsbury Board consideration for an amendment to zoning chapter 280 of the Code of the Town of Kingsbury for solar energy collectors. And I read the summary again. To balance, the purpose is to balance the need to preserve farmland and scenic areas located within the town, to encourage the use of ground-mounted solar energy system toward the industrial zone, brownfield sites, and areas that are predominantly wetlands, where the solar arrays would be the primary use in accordance with regulations intended to limit visibility and potential adverse impacts, to allow net metered solar energy systems to be utilized under the similar regulatory framework designed to minimize potential adverse impacts and limit their visibility. So I feel I think that it's, again, mostly a matter of local concern at this time, but it's open for discussion.
I'm in agreement there.
I would make a motion. It's a matter of local concern.
Motion by Deb,
I'll second that.
second by Allison. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thanks, Pamela.
Okay. The third one is a site plan review for a project under the Town of Greenwich Zoning Board of Appeals to consideration for the granting of an area variance. And this is for 242 River Road. And so they're seeking relief from a 50-foot setback from the side and rear, and actually 100 foot back. I made edits to that this morning when I found that I had a response to my question from the planning clerk. So it's 100-foot setback from their water, the Hudson River, because it's right there on River Road. And so so the proposed release is for a side setback of 7 feet, a rear setback of 13 feet, and a front setback of 25 feet. Again, doesn't seem like there's any intermunicipal impacts on this one, except for maybe the river, but it's a garage. So essentially a matter of local concern, but maybe with a comment.
Pamela, why was this referred to us?
I'm not sure why she referred this to us, except, well, it's because it was an area variance, and area variances generally come.
On the referral form, they list non-applicable for any of the boundary requirements. There is something in one of the emails that says it's in an agricultural district, but I think it's in there. I'm not sure if it's in a state mandated agricultural district or state designated ag district, or if it's that's their zoning code. But if that's the case, they didn't submit what's that? The ag data form. So I'm just confused.
Right.
There's no real indication why we're looking at this.
Right. It's, yeah. Okay. So
I just, yeah, I think so. There's another referral form where this is listed too. And that one, it's clearly indicated later why it's referred, but I think there might be some benefit to the clerks or whoever's sending this along to also be understanding why they're referring it to us and not checking that non-applicable box unless it is truly non-applicable. Because I can't figure out why we're actually looking at this from the application.
Okay. So we don't need to weigh in on it then?
I guess, unless I'm missing something. Is it in an ag district?
Their materials mentioned in one of the footnotes here. It's within a rural agricultural district, but I guess I'm with Allison. I'm thinking that's probably their designation, not necessarily a Washington County Consolidated Ag District.
Right.
Yes, that's their zoning designation.
Right.
I saw that on the map and I actually referred to it. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't a county ag district as well, but
I can do a quick check here.
okay.
I just go to to GIS. Washington.
Yeah, I'd rather not have the committee or the agency ruling on things that they're not supposed to rule on. That can just muddy the waters for the town and for us.
Okay. All right. And let's look up the parcel search. Tax ID is 211 -1 -19. It will come right up. Table of contents. Ag district. Oh gosh, it's funny. It's just outside of it. It's like a touching it. So it is
If
within
it's in,
500
within, with,
feet.
yeah,
It's within 500 feet of Consolidated Ag District 4.
okay.
So what does that mean? If it's within
Right.
500 feet, it is an issue for us or it isn't?
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is supposed to be referred for. Mhm.
Okay.
That's the reason.
But they do need an ag data form then.
Yes, we're going to come to that
Okay.
at the end in the admin. Yes, I know.
Okay.
We have discovered that we are missing ag data forms. Mhm.
Okay.
Well, that's in the last part of this.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So, motion?
What's the motion recommendation on this?
Local concern, I
That's
think.
a matter of local concern? Okay.
Okay,
And
so
then-
I'll make a motion that it's local concern. Did we want to make a comment though? Is that what the motion was in the beginning? Or no?
Just open for discussion or comment.
Oh, okay.
So, but they need
Second.
they need an updated ag form. They need an ag form.
Need an ag form.
Yeah, that could be the comment.
Right,
Comment.
okay. Matter of local concern, ag form needed. All right. Motion by Deb. Second,
I'll second it.
Allison. All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed? All right, thank you. Report, please, Pam.
Okay. So 4 is a site plan review for a project under Village of Fort Edward consideration for the approval of a site plan for La Fontaine's Rainbow Grooms. It's a grooming studio for pets, and it is going to be placed at where Fitzy's Barber was. So it's right there close to on Route 4 in the Village of Fort Edward. Doesn't seem to have any intermunicipal impacts or impacts to traffic. So essentially a matter of local concern is my suggestion.
A motion, matter of local concern. A motion,
Second that.
second by Allison. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, on to number 5.
Okay. Site plan review for project under Town of Fort Anne consideration for approval of a site plan. This is an applicant, Glens Falls Heating and Propane for 10921 State Route 149. For the installation of 230,000 gallon, 250 PSI ASME natural gas bulk storage, or I mean, not natural gas, LP bulk storage tanks and related equipment. They'll be set on precast concrete piers with footers designed to support tanks on a currently undeveloped lot of 4 acres. It will disturb only 0.015 acres. Land disturbance will consist of the concrete piers, fencing, and driveway access. It says it's within a 100-year floodplain. That's what I think their environmental statement said. I think I checked that. I'm going to check that again. Fort Anne Transfer Station is north of the property, and drivers will pretty much just come and load trucks on site and deliver to customers. So I don't know. Any discussion on that one? You want to see any pictures?
My only comment is this is the other one that came up as they checked non-applicable as the location is within 500 feet, but it's, I mean, I think it's in an ag district and within it's on a state road. So there are like 2 things that they. that
Yeah, there's a
should have
state
been checked.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, the town clerk might be helpful for them to understand that they shouldn't just check non-applicable when they
Okay.
submit these forms.
Yeah. And I had to make a conscious effort to check that particular question.
If none of them are applicable, we shouldn't be looking at it.
That's right. That makes sense. In fact, why do we even have non-applicable on
I
this?
think not applicable is for like zoning codes or,
Right.
townwide laws.
Okay.
Yeah.
But maybe there should be maybe that should be other or something like that.
Yeah, other.
No.
With a,
Or if it's not
a
one of these,
fill-in.
why are you sending it to me?
yeah. This actually comes at a good time because I'm working on updating this form. All right, so.
Matter of local concern with comment. Do we need an ag form as well for this?
I think they actually submitted one, which is why I started thinking
Okay.
about it.
Yes, they did submit one with this one, right? Yes.
It's all second local concern.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed? Carries. All right, thank you.
All right, so the last part is just planning agency administration. And I sent this morning an update, the start of the draft updated GML 239 referral form, and also a draft ag data form. We had training in November for boards on county referrals through the local government training. And so I've posted the slides and the video of that as reference onto the GML site on the planning page. And yeah, when I saw the ag form and also when I saw reference to it in that presentation, I'm like, ag form. So, you know, I guess somewhere along the line, it was part of the full statement for GML referral. And then I guess in the process of time, it got lost and then it was handed to me. And so I started looking at things with a critical eye a little bit and saying, wait a minute, you know, I think maybe we're missing this ag form. So I hijacked an ag form based on something the state had laid out from another county and then applied it to us. And that's what I came up with. And apparently the ag data form is supposed to have, name of address of the application applicant, description of the proposed project and its location, the name and address of any owner of an active farm operation within an ag district located within 500 feet of property, and a tax map that shows the relationship. So I won't have to be diving into GIS in the middle of our meeting. We can see it straight up. So this will be part of my complete application review now. I think Laura said something about bringing it to the attention of at the Ag Planning Committee meeting of the supervisors. And then I will send a notice around to all the clerks for the planning and zoning boards and town and village boards to tell them that this is part of, and then what a complete application or full statement is going to look like, the complete list where they can find the information. And I've also spent some time aligning the GML form and the website information, and also the full statement checklist on my end to say the same things, because they were not aligned. They had different little bits of information. So if you would take the time between meetings to look at those two forms and just leave with me comments, and I'll update them next time and have them ready for when they're ready to be published. That was one. And then the other question was just, we've talked about this, but handling interim requests for planning agent review, because again, it came up for somebody who wanted, one of the municipalities who wanted an interim request. And so is it the preference of the planning agency to have me just send around the request for people to weigh in and whether they're able to meet for that? Or should we define criteria for what constitutes a pressing or an emergency situation? Or is that too complicated?
Well, so a little history. I did send an email to the members back in the dark ages when there was a 6 zillion member planning board. It was hard to get meetings together, number one, but number two, there was a lot of, I don't know, I want it now desire amongst a lot of these boards and things that probably weren't critical were trying to be stuffed through. So when we changed to this method, because one of our problems was getting a quorum of I think it was a 17 or 20 member board, the idea was we could be a little bit more nimble, but we could be meeting every week if we were just taking them as they came kind of thing. So I don't know as you can define an emergency really well. It's kind of like that old Supreme Court adage, I can't define it, but I know it when I see it kind of thing. But I think we would experience some backsliding on the part of the municipalities if we were to just take them as they came. Now, with that being said, the whole point of having a smaller, more nimble board is so we can do it when we need to do it. So I'm going to leave that to the 3 members to do that, but there is some history coming into this that I think is important to know.
So I agree, Roger. I think one of the things we had talked about previously was just, and I don't know if it was via email or via the last meeting, but what defines an urgent matter, so that's up to us to decide. So I think we take it as it comes. And, I like the dialogue we had in our last emails that went around, and we determined and gave a response back on whether it was an emergency or whether it could wait. So, I think we stay with that process, and we don't give too much of a definition on what it is to lock ourselves into having to meet, because a town may feel that it's an emergency, but we feel that it's something that can wait 2 weeks.
Yeah, good.
Does that make sense?
And I think you might want to get a special statement or something as to why it needs to be done, because we're not really super familiar with every local issue. So, if you're going to put it in, we probably need some kind of cover letter or something that says, this is why we have to do this now. This is why I can't wait till our next regularly scheduled meeting,
Right.
Or something like that, because we're supposed to be responsive. This is a customer service organization or group, but at the same time, like I said, projects are coming up all the time and they're getting submitted all the time. And it would be very easy to do this once a week, especially as winter ends and spring starts coming and everybody's doing something. So, that's why we send them the schedule and tell them what it is. We tried to build our schedule around their schedule.
Yeah, I agree with that. We do kind of a case-by-case basis because it's still important for the municipalities to, understand that we also have it, like they have a deadline for when it can come in front of their board. We should also have the same, except in extenuating circumstances, I suppose.
Right. All right. Is there any other business? Pamela, you have any other business? All right. With no other business, I'll call the meeting adjourned.